everybody, my name is Mars. You can call me MG if you would like. In today's video, we are going over all of the book clubs and reading challenges that I said I was going to take part in this year, and we're going to talk about if I've actually done that. So I was trying to participate in 3 book clubs and do 4 different reading challenges throughout the course of the year, and that's quite a lot, so let's just get into talking about them. So I am not going to be holding up books for you in this video because that's just so many and I don't have the time or energy to be doing that. So I have my notebook that I'm going to consult because I have spreads for all the stuff that I was doing. So let's start with the Nostalgia Train Book Club, which is run by my dear friend Violet from the channel Writing Violet, and there's a different co-conductor every month. This is a book club dedicated to reading the YA and middle grade hits of the past, so I think the cutoff is 2015, so anything that was super popular before then is a contender, and there's a new book every month except for the months where there are NaNoWriMo events because a lot of people in the book club are writers and just it makes it easy. And I am so happy to be saying that I've read all of the books for the book club this year, which I don't think has happened since it started 2.5 years ago. I think I've missed stuff for the different years. This year I read every single one, some of them just not in the correct month. So for January we had The Bad Beginning, which is the first book in a series, Unfortunate Offense. Then February we had Mistborn, which I did not read in February. I read the previous November, so it's only been a couple of months, but I still read it recently enough that I remembered what was going on and I was able to participate in the chat. Then in March, it was The Ruins of Gorlin, which is book 1 in the Ranger's Apprentice series, and again, I didn't read that in March, but that's because I had read it the previous January, so it had only been 2 months, so I figured it was recent enough. Skipped April, there was no book for that month. May, the pick was Graceling, which I read. It was a reread for me, as a lot of these books are, and I had a great time. June, the pick was the first book in the Animorph series, which I actually had a great time reading. I liked it a lot more than I expected to, and I've since read the second book, definitely. I might have read the third book in the series as well, but I don't actually remember. But it is something I plan on continuing and will be reading for many years to come because, oh boy, are there a lot of books in the Animorph series. Then we skipped July. August, the pick was Howl's Moving Castle. Read it, had a great time. Ooh, I got the hiccups. We carry on. September, the pick was Magic, and I was actually the co-conductor for that, and me and Violet had a great time on the live stream chatting. We were the only two. There were a couple of people in the chat, but we were the only two on screen, and I thought it was a nice, fun chat about that book. Then October, there wasn't one specific pick. There was a readathon called Steinoween, where it was a bingo board worth of prompts, and it was just read a bunch of R.L. Stine books that fit those prompts. I can actually show you how my bingo board turned out. So here we have my bingo board. I don't know why I didn't color in the free space, but I didn't get all of the prompts, but I did get several bingos, so I consider October to be a success. Then, like I said, NaNoWriMo, we skipped November. And then December, our pick is The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. At the time of filming, we have not done the live show yet, but I did read the book. It was another reread for me, a very nostalgic one, which is fitting for the Nostalgia Train Book Club, but I had a great time with that, and I will 100% be participating in this book club again next year. It's just always a really fun time, and I can't wait to see what books we end up reading. Then we have the J&R Book Club, which is run by Jess from Jashi Corinne and her friend Rachel, and it has since been rebranded. Now it is the Bujo Buddies Book Club for going into next year, and there's a new co-host, Monica, so the 3 of them are going to be running it. And I started with this book club quite strong. For January, it was Heartless by Marissa Meyer, and I started reading it, decided it wasn't for me, and DNF'd it. February was Why Has Nobody Told Me This Before? Read it. And then March was So This Is Ever After. I read it. Everything after that I did not read because it was just not things I was interested in. So it was alternating each month whether Jess or Rachel picked it, and Jess kept picking nonfiction self-help type of books, which I'm not a huge fan of, and Rachel was picking fantasy romance, which I'm very picky about my fantasy romance, so I wasn't interested in a lot of those books. December's pick this month is actually one that I wanted to read, which was The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, but Scribd took away the audiobook because I read too many premium titles this month, so I'm a little bit miffed about that, but I was going to read it, couldn't. Now, next year they have restructured things a little bit, so I will be participating in this book club again in 2024. We'll just see how successful I am, hopefully more successful than 2023. After that, we have the Tome Travelers Book Club, which is another one that I did not do great at. So this was hosted by Em and Han from Pages and Paladins, as well as Anne from author Anne Sophie. And the premise of this is that they picked 3 books for the month, one YA, one new adult, and one adult book that all fit the same theme or trope, and then discuss it. And I read 2.5 books over the course of the 6 months this was running, because this was only running in the first half of the year and then they took a hiatus. So I read Iron Widow in February, loved the book. Then in March I read Uprooted, which was a reread for me, also loved it. And then in May I started Star-Crossed, didn't really like it at all, and ended up DNFing it. So over the course of 6 months, with 3 books each, I read 2.5. Not my best work. I don't know if this book club will be going on again next year, if they're gonna pick it back up, but I just think it's not for me anyway. Then moving from book clubs to reading challenges, like I said, there were 4 that I did, and I'm not going to go into grand detail about these because there's so many prompts, so many books that I read. We're just gonna do a little bit of an overview. So first up, if I consult my notebook again, we have the TBR Knockout Challenge from Completely Melanie, and this challenge, there's 2 different prompts each month, and I did a pretty good job reading these. So there are only 5 books that I didn't read. I think there's only 4, but one of them I didn't check off, and I don't feel like going back to fix it, even though I know it's something that I definitely did read. The ones that I did not complete were January. One of the prompts was a book with a mostly white cover. I was going to read Taming of the Shrew, didn't do that. I actually did read Taming of the Shrew this month though, so just didn't do it in the month I was planning. Then for May, one of the prompts was a book my mother would enjoy. My mother does not have the same reading taste as me. She reads almost exclusively V.C. Andrews, Nicholas Sparks, and James Patterson, and those are 3 authors I don't really have an interest in. Maybe V.C. Andrews one day, but not something I want to read now. Then for June, I didn't mark off queer author, but I definitely read from a queer author in June. I read from queer authors all the time, so I just didn't write one down. And then, I skipped one. In March, there was a book, or a prompt regarding women's rights. I just didn't really know what that meant, so I didn't really try to find something for that. But then in December, the last prompt, the one that I did not finish, is the word gift in the title or a gift on the cover. I just didn't really find anything, but I still think I did pretty dang good. Then we have the Buzzword Challenge hosted by Kayla from Books and Lala, and my own challenge, which is the Somber Honey Reading Challenge. We will be getting a 2024 version, so stay tuned for that in the coming days. But I don't know if you can see this. This is Buzzword Challenge. This is the Somber Honey Challenge. I completed all prompts, so each month there was a different prompt for them, and I did all of them, and I'm so proud of myself. Then, though, we have the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge, which has all of these prompts, and I did not do all of them. So, a book about or set in Hollywood, didn't do. Published the year you were born, I might have done. I wasn't really paying too close attention to publishing years, though, so I don't have it marked off. A book that was banned or challenged in 2022, might have, probably didn't. I, again, wasn't really looking into that sort of thing. Then we have a book about divorce, didn't do that one. A book about an athlete or sport, didn't do that one, it's not something I'm interested in. A book from a celebrity book club list, again, probably did that, but I didn't, check to make sure I was hitting that prompt. And then a book with a rabbit on the cover. This was one I actually did try a lot. I was looking at even like alternate covers for books that I read to see if there were rabbits on them, and I just couldn't get it done, so kind of sad about that one. But overall, I did a really good job, I think. So out of the 4 reading challenges, I'm definitely going to continue doing my own, and I'm going to continue doing the buzzword reading challenge. I think I'm going to drop TBR knockout just because that's doubling the prompts, and I don't want that many commitments each month, and I'm not going to be doing the Pop Sugar reading challenge because I looked at the prompt list for 2024, and it's just not a whole ton that I'm vibing with, so we are paring that down to just 2 reading challenges. And so that is kind of an overview snapshot of my reading year, or some aspect of it anyway. Let me know if you participate in any book clubs or if you attempted any reading challenges this year and how they went for you. But for now, we come to the end of this video, so if you've enjoyed it, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel for more content, and that way I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.